welcome to the next video of my LEC Summer 2022 previews. I'm covering G2 Esports in this video. They obviously were the MSI representatives from LEC. They went 11-7 during the regular season, finishing 4th, and 9-9 regionally with G2 Arctic in what I believe was the Spanish Amateur League. I said this about G2 quite a few times over the last couple weeks or so. After MSI, it was a thing where the team rode a really, really hot streak through playoffs, through group stage, and hit a wall during Rumble stage and could never recover. And if you think back, during the regular season, they had their struggles, going 11-7, blowing a couple games that they should have won. I think that they are the third-ranked team going into the split. I really, in the case of Rogue and Fnatic, Rogue, when push comes to shove, G2 could beat Rogue in the playoffs. Rogue sucks during the playoffs, but that's not what this is about. This is about how the teams are going to look all split long, and it's like, well, I think history tells me that Rogue usually is going to do better, and Fnatic, I think, is really good. So, in the case of G2, they're a set of really good players. Targamas really impressed me during MSI, and we're going to get into that in a second. But there was a little bit left to be desired by Caps during spring, and we're going to get into that right now. So, BrokenBlade in top lane, 858 CS per minute and a 61 KP, which is great. My threshold is 8 and 55 decides what kind of top laner you are. Top laners, there's different kinds when it comes to guys that would just prefer to be on their own in lane, 1v1ing, or players that are more team fight oriented, maybe play more tanks, things like that. BrokenBlade, more so the latter, based on a 61 KP versus other players in the role, but an 858 CS per minute is higher than most. So he is farming better than most, and his KP is high. 27 kill share because his KP is high. That is actually, this team did a really good job of having different carries throughout the split. You have 3 players between 27.4 and 26.2 kill share. BrokenBlade nearly 23k gold share with 11 champions in 18 games. Really good top laner. I don't think he's top 5 in the world, but he's a really good top laner, probably the best one in the LEC. Jungle, you have Jankos. Jankos, the grandpa, as they are calling him. 545 CS per minute, a little lower than you'd like. 63.7 KP, a little lower than you'd like. The jungle mid duo for G2 did not do that well during spring, at least in my opinion. 15 kill share because we just went over how the 3 carry roles took over and Jankos took on a supportive role. 18 gold share, 8 champions in 18 games. That's what it was. And the thing is, if it's under a 5.5 CS per minute and not over 70 KP, it's like, well, what are you doing? Are you failing your ganks? Are you losing your camps? Like, you're getting outpathed? It's just, Jankos obviously is a good player. It's just that I think during spring he struggled. Alex behind him, nowhere near ready. Oh, I don't know why. I'm going to get into color in a minute. Alex, I skipped color unintentionally, but the backup jungler, 477 CS per minute with the EU Masters team in Spain. That ain't going to cut it. At a 73 KP, it's still not going to cut it. He has to farm better. 477 so far behind. 7 champions in 18 games. 18 kill share, 18 gold share. He's got to figure out how to farm at a high level. Right now he's getting gapped. Jungle diff. Color in top lane, similar, 779 CS per minute, which is close to the 8, but not enough. 54.6 KP, so he's in the middle, a little bit of both when it comes to the type of top laner. 17 kill share, which is 10% less than BrokenBlade. 22% gold share, 13 champions in 18 games. I'd almost argue that Color should tone down the champion pool to focus on, 6 or 7 champions, and maybe you end up playing 8 or 9 by the end of the split. But you make those 6 or 7 play at a high level and an LEC level if he wants to grow to get to that point. Caps, 843 CS per minute and 68.1 KP. Slightly lower KP than you want at 70%. a CS per minute under 8.5, slightly less than the average. So, slightly below average is not Caps. We know Caps is one of the better mid laners in the world, definitely in the top 10. Some people have him in the top 5. I don't. But the thing is, he's a very, very good mid laner, elite. But in spring, the numbers were down, not only for him, but in the aggregate against, other mid laners. 352 KDA is good. 26 kill share is good. He got kills, but he wasn't farming decent. Wasn't getting as many fights as his counterparts. 22.4 gold share, which is good. I mean, he didn't take up a lot of gold, which is a good thing, but that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that he was giving up farm. And really, when you look at it, who's it going to? BrokenBlade, maybe, but it ain't going to Flakked because Flakked's giving up a ton of gold too in farm. So, Caps, 11 champions in 18 games, obviously a very, very good player. Frescowi behind him, 839 CS per minute, 65 KP. I mean, he's not quite ready yet. We'll see how after summer goes for him. 337 KDA, 24 kill share, 22.6 gold share. So he played 12 champions in 18 games. Maybe you look at him similarly. Do we look at color and say, tone it down a bit in the champion pool and try and get better at the champions you have, and all of a sudden 9-9 could be better. Flakked left a lot on the table. I believe Flakked, which a lot of people don't like my opinion on Flakked, at least the G2 fans obviously don't. I think he's along for the ride with this team when it was hot. Now he's young. He's going to get better, and who knows, in summer he may take on a more carry-oriented role after all this international experience. That's a thing. That's possible. However, I think Targamas has a lot to do with the success in the bot lane. 929 CS per minute is a lot lower than you want it to be. I imagine when I get to upset, I don't know where upset is. I haven't looked at upset stats. If he's over 10 CS per minute, you're already giving up 1 CS a minute. That ain't going to cut it. 64.5 KP is higher than normal for a 80 carry. Well, maybe not really. I mean, 60 to 65 is pretty normal. 27.4% kill share. So, like I said, there was a 3-headed monster with G2 this past split. It was just like, who wants to get the kills? 23.8 gold share, 9 champions in 18 games. A good champion pool, but, get better at a foundation of champions in lane to succeed. Farm better so you don't, get behind in lane. Supa behind Supa. I'm going to go Supa. Behind him, 861 CS per minute. He isn't ready. 6 champions in 18 games, 65.7 KP, 35 kill share, though. He was the carry for G2 Arctic when it came to getting kills. He got fed kills, therefore got fed gold. If he can farm better, turn that 8.6 into like 9.2 like Flakked, even at a lower level, all of a sudden this team's a lot better. The academy team's a lot better at least, but he is not ready for the LEC at this point. Targamas. I don't have Targamas in my top 5. He had one really, really good split. We'll see how he does this coming split. MSI, he did very well. He impressed me. I had him as my number 1 support at MSI. I thought his Pyke really set the tone in the early points of MSI. And even throughout, it was a threat. He outplayed Keria. He outplayed Ming. I thought he did a very good job. We'll see how he does in summer, though. I want to see if he can follow that up. Right now, I'd probably put him as the 3rd-ranked support in the LEC behind Hilly and Mickey X, which, might draw some ire, but that's where I have him right now. He has to, double down and show that it wasn't a one-split wonder. 15 champions in 18 games is freaking impressive, especially because he's not bad. So in support, you can spread out that champion pool because you are the guy that's giving different vibes to the draft. You are filling the extra spot that the draft does not have. I like to think of the support as the person that gets one of the second phase picks, and then a solo laner in the other one. But Targamas has picks. He has a champion Ocean. 67.7 KP, which is close to Flakked's, attached at the hip. Kind of moves around, but not that much away from Flakked. Alvaro behind him, 75 KP. He moved up from the 2nd division, which I'm going to assume is like the equivalent of amateur for the LCS fans out there, or LCK Academy, I'm pretty sure, because it's Academy Challengers and LCK, and I don't recall what the LPL one is. Below LDL, maybe LSPL, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, put up good numbers, 75 KP, 8 champions, 463 KDA. So he's coming up, and we'll see how the team does. Maybe that'll help Supa out. Comment down below, how do you think G2 is going to do this split? Do you think they are a Worlds team? I think, honestly, there is a line here between G2 and Vitality. When we get to Vitality, when I got to Vitality yesterday and Mad Lions the day before, those two teams on paper look solid, but they're kind of just like, they don't give you what you think. You don't think that they're going to be able to do it to crack the top three. Um, I think it's pretty set that it's Fnatic, Rogue, and G2 going to Worlds. At least right now for me. If it's not those three, somebody really, crapped their pants when it came to summer and playoffs and didn't get it done. So, like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow the LEC playlist where I covered all the teams, or am covering all the teams. So you can go through all those videos if you'd like. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for more content.